Hello, let's do another game. I have looked at the games from the Grand Slam chess final, and it's tournament held in Brazil and in Spain like the other years. Sofia rules and no draws. Form 40 and the Bilbao scoring system 3 for a win and 1 for a draw. Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana shared first place. And interesting here, Fabiano is had very good year now. We haven't seen him before because I think we might have seen him. Let's see here. I don't think we have seen him before, but he will be probably the player that will have most games. It's either him or Ian Nepomniachtchi that will have most games, because I think they are the ones that played Magnus the most times, probably. So let's find this one again. It's here. Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano shared first place, so great results from them. And Aronyan Karyakin, and must be a little bit disappointing for Anand, the world champion, to not win a single game out of 10. And of course Vallejo is he's used like local he's invited because he's Spanish basically, so he's the local invite, and the other players, Anand probably plays because he's world champion, Magnus because highest rated, and these three probably won some kind of a qualifications tournament is my guess. So let's look at the first game here, Fabiano Caruana and Magnus Carlsen, and this, as you can see, Fabiano is winning, but I was very impressed here anyway by Magnus, because he's like as we will see a game where the game is fairly even. It's an interesting game that's fairly even, but Magnus, instead of like Fabiano, like maybe not offer draw, but he's doing like repetition of moves and like that he's satisfied with that draw. But Magnus, he as you can see, he's of course how much is it? Like he's 70 points higher rated, so of course he should try to win against Fabiano Caruana even with black, because he's 70 points higher rated. But 27-73, that's still a very good rating, and it might make Fabiano maybe like 4th best player in the world or something like that. So it's still an impressive fighting spirit from Magnus, that we will see that he will try to win this game very, very much here, and it will backfire, as you can see from the result. So let's look at the game here. Let's also get some computer assistance. I have to update it apparently. So request the computers. So Fabiano plays e4, and Magnus, I looked at all the games in this tournament, and Magnus is always playing French defense e6. I don't remember him playing so much French, so maybe he has done it, but some openings that we have seen him play, the Dragon, Sicilian and French now, both those openings, he will give up those openings quite soon, maybe in 1 or 2 years he will quit them, because they're just it's just risky openings basically. So but it will be an interesting game. Fabiano Caruana, he's known for being like, as you can see, he's an American of Italian heritage, because but I think he's an American, and he's known for being good tactically and also good preparation, and especially when he moved to there is a billionaire in St. Louis that has made a chess club there. I forgot his game now, but there is a famous billionaire who is sponsoring the St. Louis chess club. So Fabiano Caruana and a lot of his trainers and coaches and so they moved there, so they made like a mini, I think like almost all the American best chess players has moved to St. Louis. They made like a chess club, very, very strong chess club with very good chess players, and they've created quite a good like a community, like so they are like analyzing together, and it was the same actually when I was young. I lived in a city in southern Sweden named Lund, and we also had like maybe 10 players about my age, like 20, 25, or that was about the same strength, and most of those became quite famous grandmasters, even if they probably most have quit chess and got real jobs now. But it was also good environment to get good at chess. But I never got international master grandmaster, but most of the others got grandmasters. So let's but and that was fun. So I can imagine it's fun if you're like a grandmaster from or an international master. Maybe you're young and try to become grandmaster. It's fun to move to St. Louis Chess Club because they have a very good chess club because they have such a good sponsor of the chess club. I will I remember now his name is Seinfeld or Singfield, because he's also having some called Singfield Cups. I think it's Singfield. Rex Singfield is the name of the sponsor of the chess club. Okay, so let's see here. Magnus is playing the Winover variation here. This bishop before is called the Winover, and this is the main line. And here Fabiano, strangely enough, does not do the most aggressive here. Most aggressive here is, I think we saw this in one game before against Magnus. Someone played like this, and he played. Yeah, I think I saw this. Magnus, they played like this. I don't remember exactly. It was they played like this in one of the previous games. I forgot which one it was, but we saw Magnus play this as black, I think. But now Fabiano plays the other main line. He plays knight f3 and knight b6 is normal. This is normal. These are sometimes white tries a4 and maybe bishop here, but he plays something else. And Caruana is well known for studying a lot of theory, so this is surely his preparation. Because I don't think he's Magnus is known for being like little bit of a he's known for having many different kind of hobbies. Like he likes playing football, and he likes to go to parties and drink, and likes women and all those stuff. But I think like most of the other top chess players, like Fabiano, I don't think like he's like he only has chess. Like it's and then it's same for Wesley. So for example, he only have chess and his cat, and so I think Magnus is a little bit unique in that he's just like Vichy and Kramnik. They like so 110% chess. But Magnus, despite having so many different kind of hobbies, he likes poker and lots of different stuff, and he still can be the best. That's quite amazing. But it also makes that a player like Caruana spends a lot of time in chess space memorizing and opening variations. So this here, knight g5, it's apparently a dubious move here. Best is d takes c5, of course. And this knight e5 was also inaccurate. Better would have been to play like something like this first. And now white got the chance to take here, and when he takes back, then there are different ways for white to get an advantage here. Something like this seems to be okay. That doesn't work apparently here. So something like this, the computer thinks this is good for white. Why can't it take here? I guess it's because of this, yeah. Yeah, very. You see how sharp this can become. So let's go back to the game here. I did that one, and Magnus makes a big mistake, a losing mistake here. But it's not sure that Fabi has probably prepared this line like a trap that Magnus has to play c4 now, and Magnus probably doesn't know the theory here. So Magnus is playing. He played that move. The best move was c4. So let's just say that he goes back. Then something like this would be fine. And I guess let's see why this is so bad. So this is bad because rook e3. Okay. Okay, so the thing is that when he plays c4 now, then he can take the knight basically. Hg. And two ways. Often you want a4 to activate your bishop. Like this knight is... I don't play French with neither black or white, but I understand so much that if it was black's move here, and if he could do bishop here and like blockade the queen side, then this would be fine for black. But now white has two ways to get an advantage here. One is maybe the simplest, go here, and then go here and go here. This knight out of place doesn't do anything. This bishop doesn't do anything, and especially this bishop is strong. The other way is to go here, which seems to win the queen. Black wants to do this move, but of course you take here then, so you have to defend here first. So apparently f6 is correct. So it's actually threatening here, so white cannot take here, but it can go back. Now it's a threat, so best is take here. We need to defend here. Okay, so this is a little bit better for white. Not that convincing actually. Let's look at that other line again. If Magnus would take and play a4, let's see what they can do then. So he should do this move. Maybe this is what white missed, that he doesn't have to retreat. He can sack his piece here because, yeah, black will lose his, like basically this, like his pieces are so bad here, so white can sack a piece here. It's easy for a computer to see that this is good, maybe not so easy for a human. So let's see what can happen if he plays like here maybe. Then white is already winning here apparently. Queen here and rook here is winning. So okay, so maybe bishop here, then rook here. Yeah, it would. Black has to run with his king like this, so it's very, very strong attack for white here. So white missed a good opportunity here. I don't really see why he went back, because this bishop is pretty bad when it's back also, I think. So let's see what happened here. He played like this, and he went back. But his position is still fine, but yeah, it's not as good as it could have been. Magnus decides to go back here. Why didn't Magnus do this one when he could? Let me just look at this one. Looked better to not allow display. interesting. Yeah, if I was playing black, I would definitely, like, you want to block this pawn. It both attacks here, and especially it blocks a4 and bishop out. So let's see. So apparently this one is recommended. Threatens here. So, and if he castles, then maybe he can do like a standardized attack with h4 and stuff like that. Yeah, it's still looking good for white actually. Let's see how the game went. So here we can see that instead of taking, he goes here and here, sacrificing 2 moves, so he has the chance to take later. It's just not. It's quite clear it was a mistake. And Magnus does the correct bishop a4 here that he should have done before probably. And white, yeah, he threatens. No, he not threatens. He defends here, but apparently that's too slow. Back. Okay, this one is threatened now. Okay, so he can castle when he takes here, and that he can do that. Yeah, that's true. This bishop defends here also. Now this is a threat, so he has to castle. I'm going too quickly here. Just gonna try to get a little bit of a feel for the position here. Okay, let's go back and see what happened. Actually, it's an interesting opening here, but I didn't choose this game because of the opening. I chose it because Magnus play here. Yeah, now when white goes back here, that's basically I spoke about the defeatism. It's basically the same here. Like Fabiano thinks, okay, my opening has failed. I just have to go back and defend my position. Maybe I can hold a draw here. So this will be the mindset of Fabiano Caruana. So he's lost his opening advantage here. You see he starts to go back with his pieces and just try to it's still an even game, but it's not. He doesn't have such an attack. He had a very, very good attack, winning attack according to the computer, but he didn't play the best he could. And here he's blocking instead of opening position, which he can't really do now because of the queen is getting attacked. He blocks here, and it's if it gets too blocked, it will be hard to it will be hard if it gets too blocked. It would be hard to win for both of the players, unfortunately. But Magnus, we will see that Magnus will try to do his best here to create interesting game. And here is a sign of Magnus' intentions to play for a win. Like if he would just do nothing, I'm pretty sure that white would do nothing and the game would end in a draw. But instead he's doing f5 here and goes for this endgame. It's a fine endgame. It's actually a little bit better for black, but it's also show a sign that he wants to try to win this game. He's not satisfied with a draw because he's Magnus. He's the greatest genius ever, and he's like 70 point higher rated and so on. And here he actually has a good chance here that he misses. See, and I see that now. He should have sacrificed here. Because this, like, white's pieces are pretty bad here. Should have sacrificed here. This would have been very good for him. The computer says that. Yeah, this is a dominating position with the knights. Maybe he can take on h5 next. Maybe knight h4. Go back, get this square. Let's see what the computer thinks is the best. Something like this. With a dominating position. This one is threatened. And now it's time to go here and then maybe trap the knight. Yeah, that's black is winning. Magnus obviously didn't see that, but it would have been fun if he tried this exchange sacrifice. It looks very good now when I look at it. And he only this is the only chance he gets. After this, I think he will move the bishop like that, yeah. But he's still better here because h5 is weak now. Maybe white somehow could play maybe with g4, like, because so h5 wasn't so weak. Maybe that would have been better. Let's see what happens, because I remember that Fabiano Caruana will get into quite an even position. At least he managed to defend somehow. So he takes here. Also e5 looks fine, but then white gets the counterplay, but bishop c6 defends b7, so it's probably fine for black, but yeah, maybe knight f5 looks better. And then Fabi tries to trade knights here, even if he has to sack a pawn, because opposite colored bishop's endings are hard to win, so he tries to play this endgame. So this is obviously quite a much better for white. So when Fabi had chances maybe to offer a draw, it would have been somewhere, yeah, maybe somewhere here or here, something like that. Now when black has won a pawn here, it's too late to offer the draw. Now they will have to play a long game probably. h5. The computer prefers, he wants to go back with the bishop here to block that one again. Interesting. Don't really understand why, but I'm gonna trust the computer. So h4 was a bit better than g4. g4 gives up most of the opening advantage. Not the opening, the advantage here, because he can block like this. Generally, if you want to win, you want to put the pawns on the same squares as your opponent's bishop, because what happens now is that your bishop can defend all your pawns, but it can't attack any pawns except this c2, and this c2 pawn is, yeah, it's basically worthless. It's basically like black is 2 pawns up here, because this pawn is, the c2 pawn is worthless here. So let's see what happens. But even with such a blocked position, it's not so easy to win even with material advantage. So they're just gonna move around, but Magnus will get in with his king in a way that probably is not good. Let's see it. I'm going to go a little bit faster here because they're just playing around some now. So the Magnus put his king on a5, but it doesn't have much. It doesn't have any future here, like you see if he goes here, like he's even getting checkmated. So it just doesn't have any future here. So he will try to go around and go in this way. And later we will look at that. So now black's pieces are quite optimally placed. This has to be defended by the king right now. And he's threatening here, so he has to play b6. So this rook is actually a little bit out of play now. And it's hard to get to this one back in place. So, but he managed to do it now. Okay, so black's plan is obviously to try to get in with the king here somewhere. And hopefully something happens. Okay, so this is apparently inaccurate. Now black get the chance to get in with his king, which will also be why he loses the game later. But the computer still likes that. They think it would have been better for white to play like this, to not allow the black king to enter, basically. Okay, but he allowed that. And then rook e2. I don't understand really why that's. Don't really understand why rook e2 is needed here. I guess it is because otherwise black does like this and this maybe. No, this king is can't go anywhere. So in this I see, instead of taking a draw, I'm admiring Magnus' fighting spirit here, that he goes around with the king. And yeah, as you know, it's risky to go in this far with the king, but yeah, it's safe for now. Even here we could have taken the draw, but he's trying king g1, of course. Even if he has to, he loses back his extra pawn, and he also traded white such a pawn, but it's still fine because basically he can block here and try to get some play here. And now the interesting part starts here. We can see that Fabi tried the sack here, rook e4, and trying to run with the pawns. If the alternative was this, and not here, maybe here. It's not really clear how black will make progress here. Like what black would want to do, it's obviously he would like to go with the rook and like sack here and take over the king, because these two pawns with the king and bishop like that, it would just win against the rook, but not so easy for Magnus to get that. But let's see what happened. Fabiano, he sacrificed the rook, which the computer is a little bit, he thinks that's he doesn't like it, but it's a good practical chance maybe, because now white has his passes here. And as we can see, Magnus will make several blunders in a row here, so he will lose the game. Magnus could have won by playing here. Maybe f6. But you can see there is only one move that wins. Black wants to go here and queen the pawn. Has to check. And His pawn is too strong and he can't do f7 because of this. For example, something like this and black wins. Yeah, but instead of going here at once, he does king g2, which is a major mistake. So let's look here again. Why is this one a blunder? Yeah, I guess it's because when white does king here, black wants to check because he wants to win with this pawn, but why couldn't he go here? Okay, then he takes the c pawn instead. Okay, then you can win with this pawn. I see. So rook here is key because black needs to win with this pawn or this pawn. But now after this he can no longer check here and keep that pawn, so that pawn is being lost. So Magnus thought that it can be the same, but it cannot be the same. He thought he can go here now, but yeah, he cannot do that because now white doesn't have to take there. He can run with his own pawn instead and be faster. So it was very good try here by Fab. It's just white had to play extremely careful to win. Let's go a bit slower here. So he took, and he does c3 so he can get behind, but that won't work, yeah, because now he's winning with his f pawn is winning here. How couldn't he stop the pawn somehow? If he yeah, it's gone completely wrong here. It's a shame for Magnus. I'm sure this is quite painful because this like instead of winning 2 blunders and then losing in 2 moves here, it's not fun, of course, but it's part of chess and is, yeah. But it's fine anyway to like show this game because, you know, 10-year world champion and being a billionaire and so he has a lot of happiness, so we can look at some of his more painful chess moments also. And of course this is such a happy moment for Fabi because first time he plays Magnus and he's winning first time he plays him. I think this must be the first time they play. At least I haven't looked at any other game from Fabi before this. So here he could still hold a draw here by going around. Something like this. And now it's apparently a draw here. Yeah, that will lose. What about this one? And now black wins. Yeah, it's so So sharp, what about that? Such a sharp game here. Yeah, if he takes here, he will even lose that endgame. I thought that would be a draw, but the king is cut off. King is cut off. Here the king is cut off. And here only move this one. Yeah, that's clever to be able to sack the queen here. And now he has to do something on the king side here. That's also like such a sharp game. And here only move is going here. Yeah, this is just this end game is super complicated, very, very hard for Magnus to, and also for Fabi to navigate. So let's look at the end here. D5, Rook C2, and now this deep pawn is queening. Yeah, and he tries this here, but yeah, this pawn is just too fast. But here only move here again. So this is it. King C2. So he gives up here. He sees that he should have tried this king h1. Then this one is a draw. But he, of course, it's easy to see that he can go here, here, and then block like this. That's pretty easy to see. And if he goes here, it will come in with check. Yeah, so that's also winning. Yeah, very, very interesting game, and well played by both players here. Both the opening that Fabi could have got like a winning attack, and then the end game that Magnus tried to win so hard he went in with his king, and Fabi did a good practical chance when he sacrificed his rook here for the exchange for the passers, and Magnus played wrong and even lost the game after that. Okay, next game will be Magnus against Aronian. See you then. And we can see Aronian is probably a second highest rating here with 28-16 in the world, so that will be a fun game to watch.